All right, everybody, we're live. Little old me, you can see me down here. We're live on this Kickstarter chat. We got so much going on, so many people happening that when I just put something up this afternoon, I got way more people jumping on than I ever expected. And I even had a bunch of people like, I can't be there, but could you show up my campaign anyways? And I'm like, I'll do my best. I'll see what I can do. So, yeah, man, we have tons of shit happening, so many good books happening, and I'm surrounded by so many amazing people, even people that I don't even know all that well. I haven't had the chance to hang out with. So old faces, new faces, absolutely amazing, gang. So come on along for the ride, and let's have by starting the way we always do, like this. Like this.
Canadian bacon is actually really good, and it's nothing like normal bacon, and it's better than ham, really which you guys seem to call Canadian bacon.
Are you guys seeing anything?
I did, and then it
stopped.
Started and stopped.
Jeez. Wow. The
StreamYard is screeching.
Let's try one more time. Right, dude? This is nuts right now.
Canadian bacon is actually really good, and it's nothing like normal bacon, and it's better than ham, which you guys seem to call Canadian bacon. I'm very good at writing. I write very well. Yeah, it's Shop Talk.
Do some of your audience members like the word fuck? Cool. Then I'm going to keep saying fuck. Because I care.
There we go.
Woohoo! All right. That worked. And now we have comments going on. See? I told you. Tons of people. We have absolutely so many amazing people going on. So many terrific Kickstarters and books. And a plethora of genres, too, actually. It's something I'm really excited about. Like, just a lot of different genres going on. So why don't we go around real quick, and we'll start with Wes, and we'll go clockwise. So why don't we go around the room? Everybody tell us real quick just about you and your book.
Wes Hartman, creator of Savage Sasquatch. It's the adventures of Bigfoot in space, and I'm currently running a Kickstarter for the collected edition of Volume 1, all 6 issues plus bonus content.
All right, keep going.
Next, or
that's me.
Frank?
I thought I was going to be called to the stage. I'm Frank Martin, writer and creator. Currently, I have a horror book called Malady that's live. It's a pretty dark, grim horror story about an alcoholic who drinks and turns into a monster when he does.
Sweet. Travis.
I don't know why I'm here. I was watching TV, and then this thing popped up. Now there's people everywhere. No. I'm Travis Webb. I write a comic about 2 superhero kids that didn't get to be superheroes when they became teenagers and had to go back to regular high school, only to get kidnapped by transdimensional spider wizards and have to save the universe.
Wow. All right, cool. Joseph?
I'm creator of Super Heresy Showcase. It's 40 pages, 4 stories, bringing back 4 heroes from the Golden Age to deal with family problems.
Sweet. Mary?
I'm Mary Dumas. I'm the creator of a World War II comic called The Lucky Ones. Think of Sergeant Rock, but add gay characters.
I thought Sergeant Rock was gay. I mean, you got to be with a name like Sergeant Rock.
Mike?
Oh, man. That's hard to follow up on that comment, huh?
I know, right?
My name is Michael Williams. I am the host of the Comics and Pop-Tarts podcast. I have my first creator-owned title coming out in the next couple months called Wild Oni, about a failed rebellious Japanese man who had his family murdered and made a pact with a demon to get revenge.
Sweet. Marvin.
I am Marvin Wynn, writer of The Edge. It's a book about a drug called The Edge that can grant you superhuman abilities but can cost you your life or your sanity.
Now, you just finished your Kickstarter, right?
Yeah, it ended on Thursday. This was the Kickstarter for the trade, the first 4 issues in trade.
But people can find your book in stores, can they not?
Yes, we were through Diamond previously, but I'm going to pitch the Diamond and Lunar again under our new branded logo, Comicsburg.
Okay, cool. Congrats on that.
Thank you.
Kurt?
Hey, I'm Kurt Sauer. I write a supernatural thriller called Spectrus and Sabanian. It's about the ghost of Cleopatra's top assassin living in the modern world and her demon associate. And I just launched issue number 4 about 3 hours ago. So, doing well so far.
Wow.
You should pitch that to Ubisoft. I would love to play that in Assassin's Creed.
What's up, Kyron? Wendy, why don't you tell us a little bit about you and your book?
Yeah, if I can get it out without the dogs barking. My Kickstarter started last week. It's Scary Tales, Marauders, Masquerade. It's number 1 out of 3. It's the story of Renella Bree, who is a young woman who's interested in learning the skills of rogues and assassins, and has hooked up with a group of thieves to learn those skills so that one day she could try to train with the king's chosen assassin who she's obsessed with.
Sweet. Very cool. Cool, man. I mean, like I said, guys, there's so many amazing books happening on Kickstarter right now. So many different genres. We've got, World War II epic. We've got Yeti in space. We've got, alcoholics and old superheroes and fantasy and kids and Egyptian.
And you frozen.
Chuck got so excited he broke the computer.
Computer is back.
All right, he's back.
Yeah.
Shh, he's back. Shh.
Sorry, my internet is choppy as shit over here.
You must have noticed.
Is there anyone who wants to talk about their book first?
Well, I wouldn't mind talking about my Kickstarter because it ends in 60 hours and I really need $460.
Go. Then, you know what, Mary? Go ahead and tell us all about the Lucky Ones.
Oh, okay. The Lucky Ones is a story about combat engineers in World War II. Combat engineers were known as unlucky because they had a 53-second time frame that they were alive during hard combat because they just got in the bad they got the bad end of the stick. This is a combination of World War II historical, following exactly along the timelines from just before D-Day until the Battle of Remagen Bridge, but it mostly follows a squad of lucky ones because they're all there because they basically are the dirty dozen. They would have been thrown in the stockade or sent to crack rocks if they hadn't been recruited to become part of this combat engineers squad. It does have the instance of a couple of gay men in the squad, and that is why they are in the squad. And it's to me, it's a case of telling the real stories that didn't get told, because it's not as a comic book fan. I don't like it when they make people who were already one kind of person into another kind of person. You should really write about the original people. Did anybody hear that?
Sorry, I did. While you were doing that, I was trying to make you a banner, so that we would have the lucky ones going along the bottom.
Yes.
That's how you guys can track down the lucky ones.
It basically is stories my father told me. He passed away in 1985 at the age of passed away in 2008 at the age of 85. He was a 3 Purple Heart winner in World War II in the combat engineers. I also have a.
Would we say winner or receiver?
I guess receiver, although, yeah, you don't win the Purple Heart. You end up with it. This is the book that my father and many of his veteran friends wrote, the 168th Combat Engineers. It's one that I'm using as a reference. There's many other references that can be brought up and of course, there's old novels where they do actually mention that there were gay men in the infantry and in the army, giving their all. And we don't talk about them enough because we don't talk about them. Just because we don't talk about them doesn't mean they weren't there. Thank you, Sarah.
I see a family of writers, spectacular. That's what she says. Cool. So, and you have 60 hours, and how much more do we have to go?
$400. Just about $400.
Okay.
It's doable.
All right. So, you guys out there, if you're interested in that, please pick it up. We also see Sarah's giving you the love. And if any of you guys are out there, because we have a bunch of people watching. If you're watching and you're trying to get in, we are slowly making room. So feel free to keep trying to jump in. We'll try to get everyone that we possibly can. That's why we're only giving people about 5 or so minutes at a time. Mary, oh shoot, we do have. Well, you know what? Let's just wait a sec, Ozzy. I'll bring you in just a sec. Mary, was there anything else that you wanted to talk about the book before we had to go?
I did. I wanted to say thank you to Chuck for being the editor of my book. He has gone through and done the first, 92 pages, bringing us up to date and making sure that the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed. Right, Chuck? And Chuck is leaving us again.
All right. I'm trying, guys. I'm trying. Thank you, Mary. I really appreciate it. I love being on the book, and it was definitely something I've already worked on a lot of books, as I'm sure you guys know, and I've never done anything like this. So I appreciate you bringing me on and let me be a part of something so unique and interesting and important to history. So thank you for that.
Thank you. I'm really glad that you're there. You added a flavor that I really needed in that book. So thank you.
I'm really happy to do it. Seriously.
I love when people talk about Chuck's flavors.
Let's try to bring in.
Oh no.
Oh God.
Ozzy, how's it going, man?
I'm good. How are you? Hey, guys.
I'm doing good, man. How are you doing? Good. Can you tell us real quick just a little bit about you and the book that you're going to be talking about today?
Yeah. My name is Ozzy Longoria. I am the owner of Gemini Comics. I'm doing 2 series right now, Doomsday TV and also the Sword and the Sorcerer. There's a lot of echo.
Yeah, I think I don't know who that is. Maybe everybody turn off your sound and turn it back on again. Yeah, I think I don't know who that is. Maybe everybody turn off your sound and turn it back on again. How's it still happening? Okay.
Chuck's the
Ozzy, I think I'm
culprit.
gonna. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
He could be.
You know, there's an echo cancellation setting in the audio section. Actually works.
It's very confusing.
It's the ghost in the machine.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Anyways, let's see if we can get through this. It's got to be the. Yeah. Yeah. Ozzy, can you shut off your mic for a sec?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was you, homie. Sorry about that, bud. You might want to work on your sound. While he's working on that, Wendy, why don't you, because I know that you're a little time sensitive, why don't you tell us about your book? And about your Kickstarter.
Was he talking to me? Because I didn't hear most of what he just said.
Wendy?
He said go for it.
Okay, so he was
Yeah,
telling me
go for
to
it, Wendy.
go for it. I didn't know. Okay. Well, I already, like I already said, it's a fantasy comic. It's first of a 3-issue series. That's going to be a small part of a very long, hopefully ongoing series about different characters in this world that Chuck and I built actually through an online role-playing game. The first story is about one of my main characters I played in the game, Renella Bree. This little arc takes her from a child living on a farm to learning the ways of rogues and thieves, and it's something that just absolutely fascinates her. The things that they can do to her, it's kind of like magic, which is outlawed where she lives. So she just finds it extremely fascinating that they can do these things that most people can't even do unless they possess magic, which nobody does. So to her, it's just completely fascinating, and she wants to be able to do those things. Of course, she's got people in her life that are trying to talk her out of it, saying, you don't want that kind of lifestyle, the things that you'll be doing. And she's so naive. She's just, like, well, I won't be doing these things that these, evil or bad people are doing. I just want to be able to do this stuff because it's pretty cool. Little does she know, she'll learn the hard way eventually. And that's where, this is setting up that kind of road that she will be taking. So it's about her, the beginning of her journey, and the beginning of her learning who she wants to be, and kind of where that might take her in the future.
Very cool. Now, guys, as we go, if you guys have any questions about any of these books, I apologize. Feel free to jump in and ask and go ahead, because obviously my internet's absolute shit right now. But if you guys do have anything you want to say or anything you want to ask either Wendy or Mary, feel free. Right now before we move on.
So I was just asked that the age is it's an all ages book at this point, the comic book. There's no real adult themes, so to speak, at this point. It will kind of grow with the readers as we get a little further into this series and different characters and whatnot. It will become a little more mature oriented. The novella, on the other hand, which I forgot to mention, so I also wrote a novella to accompany the comic book, for those that are more interested in that genre or that medium. So it's a little more detailed. It's got some more scenes. You get a better in-depth look into the character, her process of how she kind of works through things and whatnot. And that is a little bit more adult themed than the comic book itself. Did we get all that?
Any other questions before? Oh, I got all that. I would say at this point it's like 12 and up. Basically, is kind of like the age range for the book, from how I see it. Is that fair?
Yeah, probably, because I don't think I don't think kids kind of younger than that would appreciate. I don't think that would be something that would be all that interesting to them.
Yeah. No, I agree. Anybody else before we move on?
Well, so just update on the Kickstarter. So, dogs. It launched last Tuesday. The goal is 3,000. We're sitting at hold on, the page is loading. Sitting at 90. Oh, got another backer. 94 backers. $2,056 is where I'm sitting right now.
Nice. Good job.
23 days to go.
Cool. And that's out of a goal of $3,000, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You got plenty of time. That's awesome.
Pepe. Yeah, I can't be happier about how it's going. It kind of blows my mind, really. Mary asked for the novel first or the comic. I'm not sure what you mean exactly, Mary.
Did you write the novel and then think a comic would be good, or did you produce the comic and then the novel?
Okay, I wrote the comic first, and then because I'm really a prose writer at heart, as I wrote the comic book, or just after I finished it, I really wanted to write the story in prose form, just almost kind of for myself. But then I got the idea of, well, why don't I offer that to people that might be interested more in the novel form and just tell the story that way, for those who would prefer a novel over a comic book. So, yeah, but I did do the comic first, and then I wrote the novel.
Well, and that was... Sorry, go ahead.
That was it.
Okay. We did have that conversation where Wendy was talking, because she's written 3 great comics. Well, she's written the first 2, and the third one is partway through, but it's all outlined and whatnot. And she was talking about comic versus prose and all that kind of stuff, and I was like, at heart, you are a prose writer. Like, it's what you love, but it was just, we were able to get it out as a comic, and it just kind of worked for what we were doing. And actually, she did an amazing job. She really kind of picked up on what needed to be done and how to do it. And I think she's learned and gotten advice from some really good people. So I think she's got something really cool going on here. Okay. Wendy, I think I'm gonna bid adieu to you so that you can move on to your next show, and so that we can try to get some more people in. Hello?
I'm sorry. Serena was talking to me, and I didn't hear what you said.
Why don't we move on to our... Oh. Why don't we move on to the next person? You know what, Wes? Why don't you tell us about Savage Sasquatch?
Sure, man. Thanks for doing this, Chuck, as usual. Good chat with you guys. Hi, everybody. As I mentioned before, I'm Wes, creator of Savage Sasquatch. It is about the adventures of Bigfoot in space. In the 1960s, during the crazy space race between U.S. and Russia, all kinds of innovations were made. Well, in that time, I figure, what was the best way to test out spaceships is NASA captured Bigfoot and launched them into space. So while Russia was doing monkeys and dogs and stuff into space, NASA sending out Bigfoot because that's the next best thing to sending out a man. And like the Fantastic Four of old, Bigfoot gets bombarded with space rays and is transported across the universe, where all of a sudden he's tangled up in the politics of the largest galactic empire in the universe, and steals spaceships, makes friends, arm wrestles aliens, nut punches aliens, goes to Space Vegas, fights tentacle monsters and all the kind of laser unicorns, and pretty much all kinds of just crazy ideas I could come up with and stick into 24 to 32 pages of comics each month. And the book I'm kickstarting right now is the collected edition, the 6 issues of Volume 1, plus the previously unpublished origin story of Sasquatch that my buddy Tyler Kirkham, who you may or may not have heard of, who's basically drawing every cover for Marvel and DC, it seems, these days. He drew the 3-page origin story for me, and it's rad. It's previously unavailable, and that's included in the book. And I'm working towards stretch goals to include some more bonus story pages that are ready and raring to go. And we're about $500 away from hitting the goal. So hopefully this week we'll be knocking out the goal and hitting the stretch goals and adding some more great content to the book. You're muted, buddy.
Yeah, boy, am I ever. That's awesome, man. Does anybody have any questions for Wes about the Savage Sasquatch, which is on Kickstarter right now? Amazing book. I've read all of them. Absolutely adore them. I think we might have something coming up. Oh, Mary says the art is great.
Thank you. Appreciate it. The series artist is Gabe Santos, this is his first comic ever. He was an understudy to my buddy Harvey Talabo, who was drawing Green Arrow and Danger Girl, and I think most recently Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. Gabe was learning from Harvey, and that's how I was introduced to him, and just did stellar work. I mean, I couldn't be happier with the work that Gabe did, and now Gabe has gone on and outgrown me and become an amazing concept artist, and has been doing a bunch of stuff for Diablo and Halo and all kinds of other great games, and has just become even better than he was on the comic. And it's just like, man, like that guy's amazing, and he just made this book so much better.
First world problems. That's pretty awesome, man. Good to hear.
Well, Philippines. I don't know. Is that first world, second world?
Well,
I mean, classified.
The problems are first world. Yeah, I'm not sure the Philippines are.
But he killed it, man. He's just that dude.
Cool.
That dude's amazing. Much love and respect to Gabe.
Yeah, absolutely. Such an amazing, and I love that book. I mean, I got that the first issue from you at a convention. Actually, like the second convention I was ever at, and once I read it, I was hooked. I had to read every single one. It was just so fucking funny and fun and adventurous and exciting, and just like all that kind of stuff. It was just absolutely fantastic book, and so proud to be a part.
My favorite part of Chuck's review that he's leaving off, if you go back and watch the very first Chuck's Raw review, he tells you he didn't want to read this book. He thought it was stupid. So it's one of those things where it's like, cool. So I guess I won over a critic before I even knew he was a critic.
Yeah, I remember you handing it to me, and I was like, really? Whatever. All right. And then, oh shit, this is pretty awesome. Like, it's fun, it's adventurous, it's everything. So yeah, man, you won that round.
I try. The unfortunate reality is, it's good and bad.
No, you did it, dude.
Most reviews that come in are positive, but they almost all start, I thought this was going to be stupid. So I don't know. It hurts, but it also makes me happy because I won him over.
I think he had to drop your expectations a little so he could surprise you with the really good thumbs up, you know?
Yeah, maybe so. Any other questions or
yeah,
I don't know.
Have you ever reached
comments? But I don't know if anybody wants to hear me ramble.
Have you ever reached out to Dan Cook about Bigfoot Karate and talked about doing like a crossover or cross promo?
No, I'm not familiar with Bigfoot karate. That I know of offhand.
We'll have to link up. I'll have to connect you guys together. I think that would be really cool.
I just did a cross promo with Trash Panda, Spider Squirrel and Trash Panda, and the artist for Spider Squirrel did a sweet crossover where he drew Trash Panda and Sasquatch together and just absolutely obliterated it, man. It's amazing. Like, I thought that was a pretty cool crossover with Trash Panda.
Cool beans,
man.
I got
Charles McKelvey's book.
I get your contact stuff from Chuck, and I'll introduce you guys.
Nice. But yeah.
All right. Cool. Well, thank you, Wes. We really appreciate you. Oh.
So, yeah, go for it.
Thanks, man. No, I appreciate you coming on and telling us all about it. I can't wait, dude. I'm so excited. So, guys, seriously, check out Seven Sasquatch. Share that bad boy around. If you haven't read it, like, at least go in and grab the digitals because, yeah, absolutely amazing book. And I'm not just saying that as somebody who's worked on it, but like I said, as someone who is converted and who really just enjoyed the crap out of it. So, yeah, man, good job, dude.
You can download issue 1 for free. Go to the Kickstarter page. It'll give you a link for the newsletter, and when you sign up for my newsletter, you get issue 1 of Sasquatch, and then you also get an issue 1 download of another comic I did called Moon Street. So if you can and were willing to be converted.
Sweet. All right. So, thanks, Wes.
Thank you, Chuck.
Oh. Am I having a hard time coming through?
I hear you good.
Can we hear me?
Now I can, yeah.
Yeah? Okay, good. I'm thinking, why don't we...
Not now. We lost you, Chuck.
Oh, what's going on?
Now you're back. Now we got you.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. No, I'm here. Can we hear me now?
Yeah. No.
No.
Oh. This is terrible. I'm so sorry, gang. Yeah.
He's using up all the
Yeah, I'll go. Yeah, we couldn't hear you, Chuck. So I'm Joseph Dewis, writer and creator of Super Heresy Showcase. It's our comic that takes 4 public domain heroes from comic books of the 1930s and 40s and makes new stories about them. And we have 4 stories. Each of them spotlights a separate hero. We have 4 different artists. And the first story is stars Madame Fatale, who was based on Madame Fatal, who was the first cross-dressing superhero comic book hero, and so she is investigating a bunch of disappearances along the California highway in 1970, and it is really a story about the cults of personality of the 1970s, like Jonestown and the Manson family. And our second story is about the Scarab, who was a guy who found a magic ring from ancient Egypt. And the story is about how a Cuban tank crew from 1962 comes back in time accidentally and allies with the god of chaos, Apep, to destroy the followers of Ra. So Ra and Bast have to decide what they're going to do about it, and we'll find out how they created the ring and who they gave it to. And then the third story is about Red Reeves. This is a little girl who finds a marble in her attic, and inside of it is her great grandfather, Deputy U.S. Marshal Bass Reeves, who and there's Kyron. He actually did the art for the first story, so the Madame Patel story, and then the third story. She finds the marble, and her great grandfather is inside of it as a genie, and so we tell a story about how he went on his last mission as a U.S. Marshal and got caught inside the marble. And the last story is about Dash Dartwell, who was a super fast guy who was using a drug that made him super fast. And after his mentor dies, he doesn't have any speed anymore. So he goes and looks through his mentor's effects, and he finds out there's a journal that he left for himself in 1919 from a version of himself from the future. And he tells himself he has to go back in time and kidnap himself as a baby. And aside from that, we also have a companion book that reprints the first appearances from the 1930s and 40s of all the characters.
Well, so you actually have, like, did you have to redo the art and pages and whatnot from those, or you just have permission to be able to show those off?
They're public domain, so you didn't need permission. So you just put them together. They're from scans, so you can see that the pages are a little old, but they're illegible. So.
That's cool. Mary's saying she's glad she already supported it because it sounds really cool.
Thank you.
Does anybody have any questions for Joseph about Super Heresies?
No, but I found that interesting. I thought public domain meant the intellectual property was up for grabs, but I didn't know like the actual material itself could just be.
Yeah, public domain technically applies to works, not intellectual property per se. It applies to works, and then you can make new material that's derived from the public domain works. So technically, it's not the characters that are public domain; it's the story and the elements, and all the elements of the stories. That includes the characters, and includes the origins, page layouts, everything. And you see in some cases we took the characters and we changed a lot about them. In some cases we didn't. And then like in the Red Reeves story, even for the first couple of pages, we actually tried to copy sort of the layout of the first couple of pages too. So I have like a lot of panels in some of those pages. These characters, they had like really short stories in the Golden Age because they were all in these, bi-monthly anthology books. Madame Fatal had 22 issues, and there are 5 pages in each issue. So that's probably the character with the most appearances that we use.
So basically, she had like one trade, almost.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, over 4 years, you have basically one trade. So
that's funny. Any other questions for Joseph before we move on? All right, cool. Joseph, thank you so much. Dude, I read and looked through the first one. I thought it was really interesting. I've never been into the older superheroes as much, but you have a way of making them exciting and bringing out, like I've said this about you a million times, bringing the history out and really making it live. And it's a gift of yours, and I love seeing it. So congrats, man. I'm excited to see what you do with this one.
Thanks. Yeah, we got to use the Cuban Missile Crisis, the Korean War. We got to use Bass Reeves and the reign of Akhenaten in ancient Egypt. So, and the religious sectarianism surrounding his rule. So I had to use all that stuff within 40 pages. So.
That's so cool, dude. Congratulations. And how much did we just... Yeah, your Kickstarter just dropped, right?
Joe's muted.
Did you hear me?
He said bye-bye. In the chat.
I should be better now. Can you guys hear me now?
I can hear you just fine.
Yeah, I got you.
All right, cool. All right, and Joseph had to go, but cool. Thank you for him so much. Sean, you've been in here for a while, and we haven't even introduced you yet. So could you real quick introduce yourself and tell us real quick a little bit about the book that you're kickstarting right now?
Yeah, and actually, sorry. So Kevin Gillette had sent me the link and told me to hop on. I just wrapped on Kickstarter. We just closed our campaign on the 15th, so I'm not actively running anything right now. So I'm not sure if I'm in the right spot or not, but yeah, that's I just wrapped my second Kickstarter of the year.
Okay, well, congratulations. How did it go?
It went really well. We had 189 backers. We were about 260%, something like that. Yeah, it was good. A definite improvement over the first one. So, you know, I really see these as slowly building a community, slowly building an audience. You know, I'm a new publisher. I have 3 titles. So what's great is that for other rewards, I'm giving away digital and print copies of the other comics. So even though I'm kickstarting one, I'm trying to build out the audience for another. Yeah, it's good. I've got issue 1 of 3 series out so far this year. And I actually think our next Kickstarter in October will be sort of the SHP collection, so issue 2 of all of them. I'm going to try to run the next one as more of an SHP Comics stories continue as opposed to an individual comic. So just kind of kicking that idea around. But yeah, really trying to build an audience across genres. You know, so it's been really, really interesting. But this one, I'll say too, the artist on this one, a guy named Jeffrey Kroshik, he just did a great job hitting his community. And I think having multiple people, you know, Kevin at Inkton / Divergent was hitting it, and Jeff was hitting it, and I was hitting it. And, you know, that helped a lot to push over the top.
That's fantastic. No, good stuff, man. I'm really glad to hear that.
Yeah, and I hope it's appropriate for me to be here. I wasn't sure if this is just currently active Kickstarters or just creators kind of exchanging war stories and all of that. But I'm always happy to hear other people's stories. So, but if it's not, you know, if my stories aren't relevant at this point, I have no problem with that. I'm happy to just listen.
No, yeah, well, it is mostly about the about current Kickstarters and stuff. But I'm glad that you dropped by and told us about your book. And yeah, of course, you can listen, ask questions, however you like. I appreciate you being here, man.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Sweet. Not a problem. All right, Frank, let's go on to you, my man. Let's talk about Malady.
Sure, I got to run, so I'll talk about my depressing comic and then move on. Malady is a horror story. It's about very simple plot. It's about an alcoholic kind of going through his day, and every time he drinks, he transforms a bit into a monster, and it goes all the way throughout the day where he becomes more and more monstrous until he becomes his full monstrous self. And I guess the hook of the book is that he transforms, and we can see him transform, but everybody in the world around him doesn't really point out that he's a monster. So he's kind of like this big gruesome thing that's sitting at a bar drinking and getting all pissed off. And it's a lot of times when I write horror, I try to mix in something else. Either it's sci-fi horror or adventure horror or fun horror. This is not really a fun book. It's very gritty and raw and emotional, and it's not the type of book you feel good about yourself when you're done with. So every once I write fun stuff too, but every once in a while shit has to get real. So yeah, that's where we're at. We launched on Tuesday, and we're a little over 50%. So I'm hoping to see this through to the end.
That's awesome, dude. Yeah, one of the pieces of art that really got me excited that you showed me early on was the demon with the therapist, and I was just like, what a weird fucking sight to behold. And I was just like, yeah, all right, I don't know what the hell you're doing, but I'm in. Like, let's see it. And I got to read it. I don't remember what I said, but I know that I loved it.
Yeah, I feel weird asking people to read this book because I'm kind of like, it's very sad, and you're not gonna have a good time with it, and you might be traumatized, but have a good time, like. So, but I felt it's an emotional story, and it's close to my heart, and I'm very proud of the way it came out. And we decided to do the book in stark black and white. There's no color, there's no gray tones. And that was a deliberate choice because it goes very well with the theme and the content of the story.
Is there a personal aspect to this? And you certainly can go as far or as not far as you want into this, but is there a personal aspect to this story, just as far as maybe someone in your life or whatnot, or is it more just something that you're
ask me
interested
if I'm a wino on the live stream?
Or if you've got any in your family.
I mean, I think addiction is one of those things where everybody has a very short string of separation. You either have dealt with it yourself or you know somebody who's done it, and it doesn't really matter what the details are, whether it's you're single or you're married or you have kids or grandkids or a family. There's always that relatable aspect about addiction that is universal to every story. So you could, regardless of what your personal stance is on the topic, you could always find something that's similar, something that's universal to everyone, which I think holds true. I don't know anybody that hasn't really at least known somebody through knows somebody who knows somebody that struggled with this. So
that makes sense. And I definitely am not arguing with you there. I think you're very much hitting the nail on the head. Does anybody have any questions about Malady or comments?
I was just going to say, it sounds a little like The Shining with the alcoholism and the unleashing of the monster inside. Obviously, there's more going on in there, but I actually really liked that aspect of it because I always like horror that ties to real psychology, and so I think that kind of addiction can turn people into monsters, and so I think don't undersell it in the sense of I think people will want to read it. I don't think there's anything wrong with being hard hitting.
Yeah. Shining is a weird thing. I recently read the book and then watched the movie afterwards. I had no connection with them at all, and I could go on and on talking about the differences between the two and why I thought that the movie stunk and the book was a hell of a lot better. But yeah, there's definitely a little bit. Alcohol definitely plays a large part in that story as well. So it's always cool when you have horror where it's not really an external threat. It's a lot of internal, causing the fear and causing the trauma, which makes things quite interesting.
Yeah. Very cool. And Mary had said in the private chat that it has a very Asian manga horror feel to it.
Yeah, I found Claudio, who did the art, and he specializes in monsters. So I kind of wanted to find a monster artist and just basically say, just go to town, man. Just do your thing. Just come up with the craziest monsters you can. And I didn't want to hold him back or give him much editorial. I just wanted to say, by the end of the story, I want this guy to be completely unrecognizable as a human. And he had a blast with it. You could really tell by the end that he was drawing this horrific, traumatic scene, and he was like, "It's awesome! I'm having so much fun," which is exactly the type of artist that I wanted to work with.
I need someone fucked up for this. Thank you.
Yeah, totally.
How did you feel seeing? Because I remember, I read it. How did you feel seeing the final version of that monster? Were you like, yes, that's what I wanted to build up to? Like, how was your reaction?
Yeah, kinda. I mean, it's weird because in comics, nothing ever turns out the way you picture it in your head. And when it comes to something as crazy as a supernatural, twisted, deformed, ex-human monster, it goes double because it ripped right out of the artist's imagination. So he's never going to really tie into exactly what I pictured. I mean, I gave him some references. Pumpkinhead was a big one. I watched that movie on repeat as a kid, so that image of that lanky kind of looking asshole is burned into my brain. And he took that and ran with it and made a really cool creature. There's this one part when he fully turns monstrous and he does no more lips, so he's not drinking from the bottle. He's just kind of pouring it in his mouth. And I was like, I didn't even tell him to do that, and he nailed it. He knew exactly what we were going for.
He did do really good. It was really well done.
It feels weird that we're laughing about it and saying that it was awesome that he created this alcoholic monster that's drinking, who's extremely abusive to everybody around him. But we're a bunch of twisted fucks anyway. So
right. Well, good job, man. I thought it was really hard hitting. It was what I like about you is I never know what the fuck you're gonna do next. Like, you just, dude, and you'll, like, message me now and then and just be like, dude, I have this fucked up idea. Is it good? And I'm like, no. And then other times I'm like, that's messed up. I want to see what you're going to do with that. So, I love that.
I have a weird relationship with Chuck, so people don't know. I'm going to let us in on a secret. I have about 5 ideas a night. And I don't know what they are. They just pop into my brain, and rather than let them just escape and go into the ether, I message them to Chuck. So sometimes he'll just have a rambling list of just crazy things, and I feel good having somebody I can have verbal diarrhea on and just get all my bad ideas out.
Well, and I feel bad because I have not been getting back to people very quickly lately. And you sent me a bunch of really fucked up ideas, and I did not get back to you very quickly on those. And I was like, I hope he doesn't think that it had anything to do with him, because you had some really cool, messed up thoughts there. And I was just like, I can't get back to anybody right now.
It's as much a record for myself as it is I want to bounce stuff off of you. Because sometimes I go back and I'm just like, I must have been really high when I said some this.
You said that to me. I was like, I remember I commented on something. I was like, dude, that was a really fucking cool idea. And you were like, dude, I don't even know where that came from. I had to have been really high.
There's some stuff gets like, it's like, okay, it's normal. And you're like, I could tell the point the edible kicks in because it just freaking just takes a left turn. Anyway,
that's so great, man.
I have to go. Thank you. You all, so far of what I've heard, had cool projects. Ozzy, it was good seeing you because I have a story in his Doomsday TV anthology, which is pretty twisted too, Chuck.
I'll keep my ears out for it. I'm excited to hear.
It's called Murder Club, so I'll let you kind of figure out what it's all about.
Okay, cool. Frank, thank you so much for coming out and kill it on Melody, brother.
I will. Have a good night, guys.
Take care, man. All right, cool. Guys, thank you so much. You know what? I'm going to go. I have not been able to hang out much with Mike. He's a fellow editor. He's a really cool dude. He's been very supportive of a lot of people. And you know what? I want to get my wife on his show. So, fuck it. I'm going to go to him next and butter that piece of bread. So, Mike, tell us a little bit about what you got cooking.
Oh man, it's been an exciting time. Like you, I support independent comic creators on my podcast, Comics and Pop-Tarts. I answer that question in my episode. You can go to comics and the letter N pop-tarts.com and listen to both seasons. I just started season 3. But before that, I finished my master's degree in creative writing for entertainment, and I didn't know what to do because there's no industry in Biloxi, Mississippi. We're known as the flyover state. So nobody came over here. But to my stage right is Atlanta, and then there's Florida. And it kind of just opened up the playing field when I went to Pensacon in 2021. I met Travis Gibb. And then shortly after that, I got my first editing job, and then I started this podcast. And then Kevin discovered me, and then I joined the NSC Roadshow, and then all of a sudden, here we are. And it got really good running legs underneath my own project, which was called Wild Oni. So I have a wild temperament when it comes to samurais and Japanese, because I am a huge believer in the discipline that they practice makes for a better life. And I was just hot off of coming off of playing the beautiful game called Ghost of Tsushima, which takes you on a journey through Ghost of Tsushima when the Mongols invaded. And because I'm a lover of history, I found my own little slice of history in the 1600s when one of the last dynasties before Japan kind of united. They tried to invade Korea to kind of expand their trade route for rice and such. And they ended up failing. Korea pushed them out like they pushed the Americans out in Vietnam. And man, it just kind of took a life of its own. I found a character called Morichika, who was an actual real life historical rebellion leader, and he failed. And so I kind of just zoned in on him. And the antagonist, his last name is Toyotomi. He was one of the last daimyos of the Japanese samurai occult before they kind of switched to the emperor and created Tokyo. And after that, it was westernization after about 240 years of peace. So the premise of the story is this rebellious leader gets punished by Toyotomi and has his entire village burned, as they used to do back in Japan and a lot of other cultures. When they took over, they kind of like burn the village and kill all the people to bring in like a new regime. And that's kind of how they established loyalty in a lot of cultures, including the Japanese culture back when they had samurai clans and families and stuff. And they leave him for dead in a mysterious forest, and he crawls into this cave and he discovers a giant meteor, and there's a legend behind it, but it entrapped a demon, and he makes a pact with this mysterious voice, and all of a sudden it's kind of like Ghost Rider meets the Hulk, and he turns into this giant Oni demon who he makes a pact with to seek revenge on his family. And all the while, as we go on to this new adventure, focusing on this character, it's about vengeance. And actually, it's about a journey of like self-growing and learning how to forgive yourself and forgive other people for what they do. I actually have a prose that I'm working on right now. It's called Ichi Sorrow, and it introduces a prominent character that comes in issue 2, and she kind of balances them out, and it becomes this whole compare contrast analysis journey where things kind of split up and then taper back together towards the end. I'm not exactly sure how many issues it's going to be. It's looking at like 6. I have a partnership with Q Logic Entertainment. The book itself is actually done. We're waiting on blocking, and we're going straight to color, and I should be launching in August. I put a link in the chat where you can go to my blog. I kind of have a little premise breakdown and a picture of the cover that was done by Jod Nuari. He's an artist I found in a Facebook group. He's kind of new, but he's got really great color chops. He did a lot of the 6 pages, and then I got Q Logic to pick up the rest, just because his plate was full. And I've been working on this book since September. I've got issues 2, 3, and 4 outlined, and after that, I'll try to be I'll be working on the scripts to finish it, and hopefully I can do 2 or 3 books next year. But yeah.
Dude, that's amazing. That sounds really cool. I finally just realized that I wasn't getting anything from Facebook. And so while you were talking, I was able to get Facebook going, and people are going mental just talking about all the stuff that were going on. I mean, Yes, of course. You can always ramble stories to me. I might not respond, but I'll listen. Ghost of Tsushima is amazing. Yeah, I haven't been able to play it yet, but I've only heard great things about it. And Mike, your book sounds so cool. I'm really, I'm really digging your idea. How much longer do you guys have on Kickstarter?
We're launching. I'm gonna get the pre-launch page up hopefully in the next couple of weeks.
Okay.
I've been working on that. I've been really pushing the summer release because we're going into the fall, as you and I work on campaigns too for other people. So I don't want to be competing with our clientele. So I'd like to get in the fall where it's before the fall, so I can avoid the end of the year competition.
I will tell you, I never see it as competing. Like, so right now, Wendy's campaign is going on at the same time as Wes's campaign, which is going on at the same time as Mary's campaign. And these guys are all clients, all friends. And for me, it's just like, cool. I'm going to do my very best to help with my campaign, just like showing them off. And whenever I talk about mine, mention theirs too, and all that kind of stuff. So I wouldn't worry too much about the competition aspect. I see it as a chance to be able to share multiple things, almost like like a class action Kickstarter. You know what I mean? You just be like, we're doing all this shit together. This amazing person's doing that, and that amazing person's doing that. So, I mean, I remember in October and November of 2020, I had Belial 2 out, I had my novel Essence House out, and I had Cthulhu Invades Oz, that were all being pushed really hard by me at the exact same time, and that's including my clients and whatnot. Just tons of work. So you just fucking you do it. You make it all part of the group. So don't forget about your passion and why you're in this, and don't hold back your beautiful, amazing thing, man, because it deserves to shine too. And I know that you'll be able to find time for your stuff and for your amazing clients.
Yeah, it's just that it's that like first Kickstarter love, right? But I got a lot of support from you, from Kev, and from all the guests that I've put out there on my show as well. It's just that feeling you get when you do your first book ever, right? So like I don't have anything published out there. I have editing credits published. Like I worked on a few of Sean's IPs, which I'm gonna shameless plug here. I'll be at Kaiju Con in Alabama in July. So if you want to pick up one of Sean's books, it'll be at my table. The Wood Stake and the Killing Machine.
What's the name of your book again?
My book?
Yeah, he's trying to do. Oh yeah, you don't have the follow link yet, do you?
The what?
The follow the link so that people can follow it. That's not set up yet, is it?
No, but you can go to. I posted a link in chat because as soon as the pre-launch page comes out, I'm going to add that link to it. If you want me to repaste it, where's it at? There it is.
I may be able to track it down if I'm good. Oh, here we go.
Oh, posted it twice. So as soon as we get the pre-launch page up, I'm going to throw that back in the blog, and I'm going to pin that blog to the top of the page. I also do comic reviews too. I post a lot of stuff. I create a lot of content. I have a lot of time on my hands. I have a lot of passion, so I direct it at my podcast. And what Sean said, like Kevin threw this link in my DM. I was like, cool, I'm gonna go watch something. No, I was added to the show, and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna sit here and wait patiently and find out what it is I'm supposed to do. So it's been a lot of fun, though, man. I don't know. I suffer from this thing where I'm modest, so I get really not uncomfortable, but I get nervous when I have to talk about myself. There's a lot of firsties for me this year.
It happens a lot with a lot of us.
Yeah,
it takes time to get over it after a while.
Well,
yeah,
right.
It's fun to see you. I haven't met you even virtually yet, so this is awesome. Yeah, he edited my books.
Yeah, man, it's good to see you for the first time.
Yeah,
I know we plan to, but there's just a lot of things going on.
Yeah, I couldn't
Does
get a table
anyone
in
have
Orlando,
any?
but that's
Oh,
another story. Yeah. Sorry.
right. No. You're good. You're good. Does anyone have any questions about Wild Oni before we move on to Kurt next? Oh, I'm gonna check the private chat.
No.
Oh, Mary asks, Mike, did you travel to Japan?
No, I would love to. I've done a lot of research on Japan to say that I could probably give you a good tour of Tokyo. But because of COVID and stuff, I have not been able to travel out of the country, and so until a lot of those secular precautionary things go away, I probably won't. But as soon as they lift, I will definitely visit the small island country of Japan because it's a beautiful place. I've been fortunate enough to meet people from the country. I've also been fortunate to meet people from like the Philippines. I went to Mexico when I was younger. I just like to travel. I'm just attracted to Japanese food and culture and just the way they respect one another. I mean, they have a dark side of their history too. Like don't let that 234 years of peace fool you. If it wasn't for not a lot of people know this, but if it wasn't for America, Japan would have stayed closed off to the world and remained a peaceful society. We basically showed up with mortars and and guns and went in there nice and diplomatic and was like, if you don't start trading with us, so we can get into the UK, we're gonna make war happen on your island again. It's nuts what you can learn about a country when you start doing research. It really is.
I was just going to drop in and say the Portuguese didn't do any nice things to them either.
No.
Oh,
Interesting.
All right. Anything else before we move on? Okay. Kurt, can you tell us a little bit about Spectrus and Sabanian?
Yeah, I'm launching issue 4. I just launched at 6 p.m. tonight, so about 4 hours ago. Things are going well. It's a supernatural thriller about the ghost of Cleopatra's top assassin living in the modern world. She's lived so long, she's learned to look solid, move things, so she's created an identity for herself. She wants to find purpose and become an archaeologist. But she's also bound by an ancient curse to this demon named Sabanian, and he's like a burning engine of destruction. So as she pushes into the world of the living more, further and further, she's got to drag him along with. So I'm 4 issues in. Basically, the first 3 issues were kind of a big explosive jailbreak where Spectrus has to break Sabanian out of a prison for supernatural threats. And now we're kind of at the point where she's trying to they've escaped successfully, and now she wants to make a human friend. She wants to make a human connection. So in this issue number 4, she kind of tells the story of her last days in ancient Egypt. Geez, I'm sorry. I forgot your name already, but the way you feel about Japan is exactly how I feel about Egypt. Yeah, Mike. Sorry. I love ancient Egypt. I could read and look at the art and study the mythology and the old legends. And just it's fascinating for me, and I kind of wanted to have that a hero from that time in the modern era. So she died fighting the Romans and became a ghost. So yeah, Chuck's helped me with a little bit. I'm gonna make some. I'm still in the process. I'm still growing, still making changes and updates. But it's my baby, and I'm having a great time with it. So it's been doing well. I can't wait to get it into people's hands. It's been a good time.
Dude, I think you've been doing a really good job with this one. I got to read the first couple, and I had a really good time with it, man. So I'm excited to see where you go, and your love of that time period and of all that everything sort of Egyptian. It seeps through really well. So that's cool, man. I really think you're doing an amazing job where that's concerned.
Thank you. I've got some great artists. Topper, he's perfect. Just this issue, he really brings ancient Egypt to life, and the Roman armor and the hieroglyphs, and it's just so much fun. I can't say enough about my artists.
Yeah.
They do such a great job.
No, you do. You've got a great team there, and of course, you've got Mog Park doing some covers for you, right?
Yeah, she's been great. She's doing the whole tarot card theme, and each new cover is just exciting, because she puts so much research and thought into it. If you find me on YouTube, and we did our launch, our kind of live launch today, and she explains, she goes through the whole cover, the kind of the frame or the trim that she does around it, just the thought and the detail she puts into that is amazing. And the problem is that she won't part with the originals because I want them, and she won't sell them. So because they're just incredible, and she's coming here to Chicago to do Fan Expo, and that's gonna be cool. So I'll be able to see the originals. But yeah, it's been frustrating. She doesn't want to sell them.
What does she do with that?
She keeps them. She displays them at her shows and torments me basically with them because she has them and I don't. So, but the issue 4 cover is the Judgment Tarot card, and just have a look at it when you can. It's phenomenal. So
cool. Yeah. Thank you, man. Really excited. So everybody, Brian was good enough to put this up. Thank you, Brian.
Thank you.
Check out Spectrus and Sabanian. Dude, Kurt, I appreciate. Oh, Kurt sneaking through the shadows, seeking the originals. Yeah, right.
Maybe if she falls on really financial hard times, I'll be able
to. That's what you want to hope for. Good for you, Kurt.
We can only hope, right?
Right. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate you being on here, man. We're gonna talk again real soon about even more, and hopefully about Ruby down the road.
Yes, that's going to be so much fun too, and I got to get you some more updates for that. So it's kind of fallen off my radar with everything else, but I'm going to get you some more rewrites, and I hope I make it. And I got to drop off, but hey, thank you so much, and good luck. Good luck to everybody.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you coming by. You have a good one, buddy.
All right. Have a good night.
Marvin, I feel bad. You've been around. You've barely been able to speak. Why don't you tell us a little bit more about the Edge and about what's going on? And then, Ozzy, we're going to end big with you. And then, Mary, we're going to talk one last time about Lost, about your book, if everyone's okay with that. All right, cool. Marvin, the Edge. Bring it, my brother. Let's hear it.
So, as I said before, it's a drug that can grant you special abilities, but can cost you your life or your sanity. So, our story starts with our lead antagonist, sometimes protagonist, Revenant, who is a government assassin who no longer wants to work for the government. So, he goes rogue into society with the secrets of the Edge in his blood. So, his former handler sends a strike team after him to either bring him in or eliminate him. So then terror, nonsense, and other things happen along the way. One of the things that I really like about writing this book is that I really don't say who's the villain, who's the good guy in the story, because everyone's playing in the gray area because they're all trying to survive. And with this Edge tainting their blood, most of them don't even know. So they're using these powers. It's a ticking clock, and eventually each and every one of them is going to perish.
That's awesome, dude. Well, I mean, it's not awesome that they're going to perish.
A little dark.
But it's a cool idea.
Yeah. So I mean, it's just the escalation, and the overall theme is that powers don't make you powerful.
Yeah,
The thing.
that's a fair statement.
Yeah.
How many issues in are you? Because I know there's a bunch.
Yeah. So we are done up to 15 books are done. So that includes 12 of the regular issues and then 3 one-shots, or 2 one-shots and a one cut, because one is a Revenant story and he likes to use knives, so we call it a one cut. And
You're savage.
That's
those 3
cool.
stories
Man.
are part of the trade it's coming from the Kickstarter. It will not be available in the retail copy of the Kickstarter, so you have to wait if you didn't get the Kickstarter version.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's a story with a lot going on.
Mary said that it felt like it might have a. Oh, sorry.
I mean, yeah. So I mean, the boys feeling. There was a TV show on Netflix called Project Power, but I came first. I came up with this story back in the 90s. So whoever else was trying to do it, they all copied me. They're a bunch of copycats. But the way I do it is that the characters don't know that they've been dosed with it, except for Revenant. He's the only one that knows. So that's why they wanted to eliminate him or bring him in, because they don't want anyone to capture him, get a hold of his blood, and then everybody will know. And then eventually someone's going to try to make it, commercialize it, and have athletes using it. Then we'll see.
Nice. Dude, that's cool. That sounds really great. And I mean, you're obviously busting ass. You have, like you said, like 15 issues going on. So that's amazing. What's next for you? You said you're trying to get into Diamond under your own name now?
Right. So I'm pitching to Diamond. We over the last couple of years, I've been doing conventions with friends, and we decided to form up as Comicsburg. Renaming Pittsburgh to Comicsburg, because we want to try to show that Pittsburgh is more than Steelers, Pirates, Penguins. That there's a very thriving comic book and art scene in Pittsburgh people don't know about. Like, we go to conventions, it's like, we don't know you guys are making comics in Pittsburgh. So yeah, that's a problem that we need to correct. That we want to show people that it's a big scene here in Pittsburgh with all kind of arts, including music, plays, all kind of things are going on in the city that people don't know about.
Good for you, man. That's amazing. That's fantastic. I'm excited to see what you guys got in store.
Like I said, we got a lot going on. I've got 3 conventions next month, so we're going to see how I survive that one. So we've been hitting the con scene. I just did Sci-Fi Valley this past weekend, and 2 weeks ago we did Three Rivers here in Pittsburgh. So I mean, it's super busy, jumping around the East Coast. Next year, hoping to get to MegaCon. So we'll see how things progress from now. But what we got coming up is, so since so many books are done, I could jump right into the volume 2 and do a Kickstarter, but I want to wait, because that thing was 8 months in the making, and it kind of drained me of a lot of some energy of dealing with this thing.
Oh.
Kickstarters are fun, but man, I
can imagine.
Doing it in November, and I had anxiety up until I hit the launch button, and then I had a new form of anxiety as I waited for it to get funded.
Oh yeah, I know. I feel you there, and I think we've all been there in some form.
So like we've got Lego minifigures coming. We're working with Loose Collector, if you know who they are. They did the Lady Death figure for Brian Paleta. We're working with them to do a G.I. Joe scale Blaine figure, so that's coming soon. So I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on, man. Just trying to keep busy. That's all.
Nice. Well, you're doing it. You're doing a great job too, man. Congratulations on everything. It's looking terrific. And a lot of people that, I mean, I haven't read the book yet, I'll be honest, but a lot of people that I respect a lot, guys like Kyron Silva, Scott Weldon, just guys who I just love and really respect their opinions. They all have nothing but amazing things to say about the Edge. So yeah, keep it up, man. It sounds like you're doing some really great work over there.
Appreciate those guys. I love their books too. So, this is what the Indie Network is about. being friendly and helping each other get forward.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely, man. I couldn't agree more. Do you guys have any more questions about the Edge before we move on to Ozzy?
How many cons do you do a year?
We're
Uh,
good.
we did 17 last year, so I think we're at 10 this year so far. So yeah, we're hitting all like we're hitting mostly everything that's happening on the East Coast. We're doing stuff in West Virginia. We're doing stuff in Ohio. We'll be at Terrificon next month, so in Connecticut. So we're hitting it hard.
Good job.
Cool. All right, sir.
That's cool, man.
That's a lot of marketing.
For sure.
Yeah. All right. Oh. Okay. Cool. Oh shoot, we lost him. All right. Down to 3 after having so many people in here. Ozzy, what do you got going on? Tell us about your book, please.
Yeah. I have 2 series right now. One is Doomsday TV. We just send it to print, and we have all 4 books here. This way. So number 1, number 2, number 3, and 4. We did the campaign for the first 3 books, and we did okay, but we're still trying to get more fans and trying to get more people interested in the book. I'm gonna redo it. I'm gonna do it one by one, and trying to trying to make a little more money, and also trying to find a publisher for it. The other project is the Sword and the Sorcerer. I sent you the link on the private chat. I don't know if you can.
Yeah, I'll
And
show that off.
this is not live. That's the actual the what's called the test.
Okay. You still there?
I don't know the rights of the movie. I need to move on. I need to publish them, and then after that I can just slow down and do one of each. But I'm gonna do all 9 books actually in 3 months.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a tough one. But
That's all. How scary is that?
I'm almost done actually.
Okay.
So up right now we have 5. That link is gonna go live to. I think they already approved it. I'm just waiting for tomorrow, and after that it's gonna be only 20 days, and it's gonna be a low amount. Like I said, it's only for the rights, so so I can publish them, and I'm gonna send them to print probably in 1 week. I'm gonna send 7 of them on what we're trying to avoid is cut the weight, because my last campaign for for Doomsday TV, we had a lot of problems because we started it on during the pandemic, at the beginning of the pandemic. So it wasn't that well received because of that, and then also after that there was no paper, and there was no there was a long wait for the printers because they didn't have people to help them, and also the money too. Like that was a big problem. Everything was unsure at that time. So we're gonna try to erase all that. We actually have most of the rewards and perks. We have them done, like stickers. We have keychains. We have the statues.
Oh, cool.
They're already
cool.
done. Like pretty much everything is done. I got the T-shirt too, actually.
Wow.
The Simon Beasley T-shirt, because the number one is with a cover of Simon Beasley. The
Oh
the
my
second issue,
gosh.
yeah, yeah. We begged him so much, and then he said yes. But actually, and
Oh, we've got a froze.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Well, I'm glad it wasn't me
that
that
was
froze
also
this time.
no,
Come
Oh,
back,
there he is.
Ozzy.
no, yeah. I think that was me. Um, so yeah, Simon Beasley, yeah. Um, so what happened is that we had to wait a whole year, and that put us in dire straits because of the rights. We only have a certain amount to publish them, and we waited too long. So right now we just gonna publish all of them, and then after that we just republish them again. And I have a publisher right now, and I cannot tell you right now because it is sure, but I want to wait a little bit. And
Yeah,
it's a
that's
big one.
fair.
It's a big one.
Can I ask Ozzy, are you
Can you
doing
give
it
us a hint?
You will easily yes, believe me.
Okay,
are
that's
you
fair. That's fair.
are you doing it bilingually? Are you doing it in
Oh
two
yes,
languages? Oh, good.
I'm doing both for sure.
Yeah. I own
And
a
I
small I own a small shop, and I have a lot of kids come in and ask for Spanish language comics.
it's gonna be bilingual for sure. I have a publisher in Spain and a publisher in Mexico too. I need to find one in South America and Central America. Um,
That's cool, dude. Congratulations. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
yeah, thank you. We put a lot of money and effort too. We've been working for 2 years on it.
Yeah. How, I mean, the lettering when going from one language to another, did you find that you had to do a lot of kind of like rewriting and whatnot in order, because of course, what you wrote in English might translate to be way too much on a panel?
Yeah, it's very different, and it's
Yeah.
my letterer actually is from Mexico, so and he does both. Um,
Oh, that's wonderful. Good for
yeah,
you.
he has worked for DC too. He's a writer.
Ah.
Um, his name is Abraham Martinez. Yeah, and yeah, no, he's amazing. Oh, I have a big cast, like all big talents actually.
Yeah.
Actually the cover number 3 is Stefano Cardoselli, who used to work for heavy metal, and he just won the Bram Stoker Award like this year.
Dude.
Oh,
So
wow.
he's really talented. We have so many, like from around the world. We have a Russian writer, we have Brazilians, Italians, Francesco Conte. It's an amazing artist. I was blown away with what he did. Yeah, if you wanna play the the campaign, I can describe you.
I don't know if I can do that, especially with
Okay.
my
Yeah.
internet being as terrible as it is.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Oh, no problem.
it is showing us still in draft form. So
Yeah, it's a draft exactly.
yeah, so we can't actually see it right now.
Oh, okay.
But I'm going to bookmark it so I can come back and play
Yeah,
later.
please do. Yeah. So the campaign goes live pretty soon, and we're gonna have so many stuff like hats, 4 kinds of T-shirts. Pretty much all the covers they're gonna become T-shirts, prints, all kinds of merchandise. It's a good property. I don't know why no one thought about it.
Right? That's amazing,
Aren't
dude.
you glad you
Congratulations.
did?
That's so cool.
Well, actually, it was my partner.
Right?
He lives in China, and his name is Jeremy Fraser, and he's the one who contacted the director because the rights after the movie, the rights reverted to him after a certain time, and so he asked for that, and actually he asked for another right before the it was called Mean Guns, and I did a cover for the anthology, but then he asked for the Sword and the Sorcerer, and that's what we're doing right now. It's gonna be
That's cool, dude. Good for you.
it's gonna be an eight issue miniseries, and the adaptation of the graphic novel, adaptation of the movie, a graphic novel. That's what I meant. Yeah, and
That's awesome.
I'm doing coloring books too for adults.
You've got it, man. You got your own full business model on everything. That's wonderful.
Like I said, someone just didn't notice that thing, and it's hard to know who's got the rights too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That
But,
takes
it
research.
just takes asking. That's it. You just got to ask.
Dude, good. Well, I mean, very smart. Congratulations on that. It's looking cool. You got some really sweet stuff happening there, and it sounds like it's going to be really good. So I'm hopefully going to be doing some more of these. So keep an eye out, and we'll have you on again when you're live, and we can show off more of it. Hopefully.
Yeah, of course. Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah, no, glad to do it, man. All right, thank you, Ozzy. Mary, we started with you, we're gonna finish with you. Thank you so much for all your amazing questions and whatnot. And I can tell you that I've been watching my phone, and I've gotten a couple times where people are like, Kickstarter has sent me some things and said, "Oh, this person backed the lucky ones. This person backed the lucky ones." So
I've
it looks
been
like you got.
it too.
Yeah, how'd
Thank
you do, man?
Everyone.
Good.
Yeah.
How close are we now?
We are. Give me 2 seconds here. Figures that I shut it down. Give me just one more second. We are at 57 supporters. We are at 1,166. So math-wise, I think we're $340 something to get it. That's incredible.
So you made about almost $100. Does that sound about right?
Right, just by being here talking to you.
That's fantastic.
Oh yeah, I'm as you were saying, Ozzy, and particularly what our gentleman who just left, whose name escapes me right now, was saying about the anxiety of running a Kickstarter. It never ends. It starts and then it's never over.
Yeah, no, it's so true.
Yeah, it's yeah. What can I say? Kickstarter, blah. But you got to do it. I mean, it is really a important step. As a independent, you get your name out there and you start building on that. So I'm just, I'm just really,
absolutely.
I'm really pleased. And I've got my dad sitting on, tapping me on my shoulder, saying, "Yeah, you did good." So I'm really excited for this story to happen. It's been 20 years in the making. Started out as stories from my dad, and then became a screenplay. And Tom Hanks didn't pick it up. I don't know why. And so now we're going on to this.
His loss.
Yeah, his loss. And I think that this comic book is going to be a good crossover kind of story. It does have the feeling of a good old war story kind of story, but it's also got a lot of the personal things that you don't see on the war, because on the movies, because I think that my father put it very well when he said, when I asked him what the war was mostly like, and he said about 6 feet by 6 feet of boredom, punctuated by terror. And I think that I've got that down pretty well with the story. So, and I love my artist, and I love my editor. Thank you, Chuck. Pardon me? So my artist is
I said, what an amazing quote.
Yeah. It's my dad was pretty impressive fellow. When my sister came out as gay, he didn't bat an eye. I think he said something like, "Yeah, I've known people like that all my life." So and coming from a gentleman who was born in 1921, and that's pretty impressive. That's really
impressive.
I just can't say nice enough things about you, Chuck, because you also gifted me with a wonderful letterer. Mike is awesome. Thank you. Yeah.
Oh, you're very welcome. He's a great dude. Yeah.
Yeah. He keeps me on track. He's a good cheerleader. There's those days when you're like, oh, I don't know if I want to keep doing this. And he'll call out of the blue. And you're not expecting it. You get this nice phone call saying, "Hey, how's it going? I've got page whatever number done, and I'm going to be sending those off to you. And in the meantime, I've also done this and this and this for you." I'm like, Michael, you are just too kind. And then, of course, I really, really wish that I could see my artist, but living in Buenos Aires does not, does not make it so that I can easily go and visit him. I can't even mail things to him. I've tried mailing a couple things, like an old Sergeant Rock comic book, or an old, what's it called? Anyway, there's a number of different comic books that were World War II and through the Vietnam War comic books. And I kind of wanted him to have them just as a, here's an idea, or here's a thing to suck some ideas out of. But they never made it. Somebody in the post office in Buenos Aires is enjoying comic books.
I mean, at least you've given them that gift. That was nice of you, but too bad Christian couldn't get that.
Yeah, but Chris is just incredible. I mean, the number of things he's been working on just this year, and to have me allowed in that auspicious group is wonderful. It's just so incredible.
Congratulations. And it really is a terrific book. I haven't seen anything like it. And I'm really, guys, you gotta pick this up and take a look at it, because I know that, like, I did get to read some of those very early, like, World War II style books and whatnot, but a lot of us haven't. And this just has a feel unlike anything you're able to see in modern books, and yet it doesn't at all feel old or stodgy or anything like that. You had a very cool connective device by connecting, I believe it was the 1990s storyline to the World War II storyline, which I think helped to make it feel a little more modern and allowed us to connect to it better. So I think that was really well done.
Right.
Pardon me?
I said it's not too modern, because I wanted the grandfather and the grandson to have the kind of conversations that you don't have while your grandson's attached to his cell phone.
That's so true.
That's
that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, that's one of the ways that I did it. Because it could have been his great grandson if I'd gone more modern. But I really felt like I needed to stay away from the modern convenience of cell phones, so that the story could be related between generations. But anyway,
I think that was a smart move.
Thank you.
No, I think that was smart. Cameron had asked, can I talk about my Kickstarter? Definitely another time, buddy. We'll bring you in. We appreciate you. But yeah, we really got to kind of shut this down. Guys, thank you so much for coming out. I love what you guys are doing. I mean, everyone who's been here tonight. But of course, you two have stuck it out all the way through. And I appreciate both of you guys very much. And I really hope that good things come to both of you. And congratulations, because you guys both have some cool shit happening.
I'm looking up for Aussies. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Chuck, and thank you, Mary.
Bye-bye.
You're very welcome. Guys, take care. My name is Chuck, and I give a fuck. I'll see you next time.